What is up, y'all, and welcome back to Nurse Carle Rae's channel. If you guys are new to my channel, my name is Carle Rae. Like I just said, I am a registered nurse, and here on my channel I talk about a whole gamut of things, whether it be about hair, lifestyle, but mostly nursing. So if you guys would like to subscribe, then go ahead and press that subscribe button and press the notification bell so you can be alerted the next time I upload a video. If you do not get a notification about my videos, it is probably because you have not hit that notification bell, and sometimes YouTube be playing us. So if you guys would like to know when I upload, then just make for sure once you subscribe, you hit that bell. Today's nursing video is all about my nursing pros and cons. Now, if you guys do not know, and if you are new to my channel, I am an ER nurse, and I've been in ER nursing for about 7 years now. I do have my ADN, I do not have my BSN, and for that main reason, if you guys are wondering why I do not have my BSN, then I will link a video up here which I kind of talk about why I do not have my BSN. But anyway, so into this video, I will give you guys my nursing pros and cons and some things that I dislike and things I love about my profession. So if you guys would like to watch this video, then just keep on watching. Sorry if you guys hear my dog in the back because I just got a new dog. So everybody say hi to French Fry. French Fry. Say hi to my son too. So French Fry. Ciao. So French Fry is a French bulldog, and I just got her. She is about 13 weeks. So if you hear her yapping in the background, it's because Chandler's probably messing with her and irritating her. So all right, French Fry, say bye. Say bye. Say bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all, so I'm so sorry. I will have to switch cameras. My camera battery is flashing at me right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and switch cameras. So I will start out with the pros, and I will go into the cons. So my number one pro is that you actually can take your trade anywhere you would like to. So say my husband had to go to work in North Dakota and we had to be there for a few months, then I could easily take my trade or my craft or my nursing profession, should I say, anywhere, and I could get a job. It's very versatile, whether I want to be in OR, ER, be in NICU, ICU, pediatric ICU, trauma ICU, CD ICU, which is cardiovascular intensive care unit. I could literally go anywhere with that nursing degree behind me. So that was one of the biggest pros that even opted me to go into the nursing field itself. Number two was for me that I could take that knowledge that I have learned and apply that to my own life. So my mom and dad is all that I have. I am a only child by both my parents, and I would love to be there for them, you know, whenever they needed me the most, any type of emergency or anything like that. Even to just put it into example for you guys, here recently. All right, y'all, so I am back. If you guys are seeing a different setup, it's because I had to switch to my vlogging camera. But so like I was saying, was pretty much that. Just to put it into example for you guys, my mom was recently having this episode where she was having issues with walking, and it was getting bad to the point where she was having to take pain medicine a lot, to where she was having to walk around with a cane or a crutch, to where she really couldn't even apply any weight whatsoever on that foot. And so my mom is not like this at all. My mom has always been a very hardworking woman. So when this was going on and she was having to call off from work, I'm like, hey, you need to go down here and figure out what's going on. The doctor diagnosed her basically with arthritis. Over the next few weeks, after they'd given her Toradol shots and steroid shots and things like that, nothing was seeming to help. And so it was getting bad to the point where I was coming up to my son's birthday, and she ended up leaving his birthday, and she was like really in an intense amount of pain. So I was like, hold up, something ain't right. I got to thinking, and just drawing from my own experiences and my own knowledge that I have obtained by being a nurse, I said, hey, go back to that clinic and tell that physician that it's not arthritis. I know nothing is broken, but this doesn't seem like arthritis. Tell her that you want a uric acid test done. And so for those of you who do not know what uric acid means, uric acid is an acid that's produced within the blood that tells you about gout. And so the doctor was like, you know, I don't think it's gout, you know, but we'll run it. I know you said you had a daughter that was a nurse, so we'll just go ahead and run it. Honey, 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 honey. So when the test came back, guess what it was positive for? Uric acid, which means that she has gout. And so once they put her on the medicine to control her gout and she started changing her diet, all of her pain and everything went away. And so I was just kind of like, I'm so happy to be in this position to know what I know to help my family. It would have continued being, oh, it's just arthritis. It would have continued for my mom to hurt. It would have continued for us not to know what was actually going on. So that's why I say I'm so grateful for the knowledge that I have, because it helps me help my family. Number 3 is that it gives me a purpose in life. There is nothing greater than the feeling of knowing that you have ultimately came into somebody's life and helped them change their life dramatically. Y'all, I've had patients actually send me flowers. I've had patients actually make me like little gift baskets and bring them up to me. I've had patients even like write me thank you notes, go to my bosses and tell them how great I was, y'all. It gives me a purpose. And just to speak on a situation that I recently had, it was a scenario with a little girl with a rare type of disease that I picked up on. Out of all the doctor's visits that she's had, nobody ever picked up on it at all whatsoever, but it was little old me that actually picked up on it and went to the head doctor at that time and was like, hey, I think this is what this might be. Well, come to find out that that's what it was. Even after the fact, the little girl got better, everything was great, but it was her parents and her grandparents that came to me personally, even weeks after the incident, came back, found out when I was working, and thanked me personally with tears in their eyes. So that right there gives me chills and makes me have a purpose in life. Number 4, the money. So the money has an upside and a downside. If you guys do not know, I have made a full-on video about how much new nurses make. I will link that right here in the card. So in the beginning, your pay will suck. Now that I'm 7 years in the game, my pay has substantially increased, and I've been able to maximize my pay just by network. And number 5 on my pros is that I have the option to work 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, which means that I don't have to do the Monday through Friday 8 to 5. I can do my 3 days a week and be off for 4, you know, so it gives me more flexibility. It's one thing that I will say I love about my profession. But if you guys know me and if you follow me on all my social media, then you know your girl works 8 days straight and then I'm off for 6. Right now I'm off for my 6th. So I'm so happy that I can even schedule myself to have that type of situations present. I never have to take off any PTO, because with me blocking all of my days together like that, I'm able to have 6 days off and go on a mini vacation anytime I want to. All right, child, so here we go, the cons, honey. So as you guys know, I have made a video about some things that I hate about nursing. If you guys have not watched that video, then I highly suggest you guys, after watching this video, go ahead and look at that video. So I will jump into the first con, and my very first con is the stress. Child, nursing school did not tell me anything about the stress or the burnout or just feeling unappreciated, you know, from some of the patients. It didn't, no. It was such a perfect world in nursing school, but little did I know once I got out into the real world that real world nursing is nothing like nursing school nursing. It's totally different. Things are totally different. The things that they taught you in the nursing textbooks is nothing like the real world. Can I help you?
Wait, I can't give her it.
You ain't gotta give her nothing, man. See some nothing.
Y'all, I can't do it. Can you move, bro? Can you move?
Right.
Bye-bye. I'm gonna go to bed.
Okay.
You got to bed. You right, you need to go to
Alright,
bed.
tell him bye. And you'll see him later.
I see you later.
Say, see you in the next vlog, guys.
Bye.
So, I just did not know the amount of stress that I would be up under. And I work in the emergency room and my stress is horrible. Everybody in the emergency room is sick and everybody needs you right now. So, like I've already stated before in some of my other videos, I could truly have a CPR going on, but I have a mad patient down here in the hall, and you know, they're mad because I haven't seen them for the last 45 minutes and nobody has come in to update them. Well, sorry honey, somebody's down the hall is dying and I'm needing to be there to save their life. Number 2 on the cons is I hated being the bearer of bad news. Some of my stress truly comes from having to be the bearer of bad news. I've been in several scenarios where I've had to tell someone that, hey, you know, your loved one passed away before you could get here. Or y'all, I think the worst one is having to tell a mother that her child has passed away. And those by far are the worst. Like, I was able to tolerate them, even though they were still hard before I had my son, you know, to be the bearer of bad news. But after I had my son, oh my God, like, to go in and tell a mother that she's lost her child, like, it hit home so bad to me now that I have a kid. With being the bearer of bad news, it has changed my outlook on life tremendously. Like, sometimes Cordell would even get on to me and it's like, hey, like, you gotta let them boys be boys. You can't always protect them from da-da-da-da. But I'm like, babe, you don't know what I see in the ER. You don't know. People have their lives changed at the drop of a dime. I mean, that's why sometimes I wish I wasn't a nurse, because ignorance is bliss, y'all. Number 3, the money. I know I touched on this in the pros, but honey, the money again is in the cons. So if you guys do not know, I stay in the East Texas region, and here in the East Texas region, a new nurse starting out makes $21 or $24 an hour in the hospital setting. And like I said, that's a new nurse, whether you have your BSN or ABN, that is your pay, and it is your base pay. And for those of you who do not know what base pay means, base pay just typically means that this is what you will get paid without any shift differential. So you may have an evening differential, or you may have a weekend differential, or you may have a night shift differential, you know, and they pay you different fees according to whether it's weekend or according to whether it's night shift or evening shift or whatever the case may be. But your base pay in this East Texas area as a new nurse will be either $21 to $24 an hour, and I hate that, because I truly feel like nurses should be paid more, period. If you guys do not know about my area, it's highly saturated with a lot of schools of nursing here anyway. When you have a lot of schools of nursing here in this region, it will drive down the actual cost, so to speak, of how much you should pay the nurse. So if you got an influx of nurses coming in, you can pay them the cheapest amount, because all these new nurses coming out will see, oh my God, I'm making $21, $24 an hour, but not knowing that Uncle Sam will take a lot of that money, insurance will take a lot of that money, and your student loans will take a lot of your money. Number 4 is I have to work holidays. Y'all, I used to hate it, even though you get paid overtime for working your holidays. Don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for that. But I I just hated being away from my family on Thanksgiving or on Christmas or even on Christmas Eve or even on New Year's or even on New Year's Eve, like, or Easter. I've worked every Easter for the last 3 years. I mean, like, I miss out on that time with my family. That's one thing I hate as a nurse, is that we have to work those holidays and also weekends. As a nurse, typically you have to work every other weekend in the hospital setting. With me having to work every other weekend, that means out of the month I only get 2 weekends off. So hopefully my children's events and my husband's events and my friends' events land somewhere within that 2 weekends of the month that I have off. Number 5, management, child.
I want to get back, but I have a meeting.
I honestly feel like where I work at now, my manager is probably the best manager that I've ever had out of my whole entire 7 years of nursing. Whereas all these years and all these managers that I've come across, they've been sucky as hell. If you guys do not know, I'll let you know, the last job that I was at, I truly left my job because my manager came to me and told me instead of doing a CPR, I should have been doing patient service recovery.
Bye, get out, get out, get out.
No, honey, I'm a nurse first. I will take care of who needs me the most. And that was that patient that was coding. So I will never, ever try to do patient service recovery and leave the bedside of a patient that's dying. Number 6, and this is my last one. In the hospitals, a lot of hospitals have a lot of politics. They typically probably operate off of what is called Press Ganey. And so Press Ganey pretty much sends out surveys to the patients to rate the hospital. And a lot of the times it deals with some of the reimbursement that the hospital gets back. If you have lower Press Ganey scores, then the hospital will look at you and say, hey, y'all need to do this, or hey, you need to do that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Whereas in understanding, like, I feel like a lot of times your Press Ganey scores could increase if you bulk up your staff. Think about this. If you're in a hospital and the nurses are short-staffed, do you actually think your nurse will have all that time to fluff and buff you and take care of you and be there for you? It's not the nurse that's not wanting to do her job and be there. It's the facility that is actually making the nurses work short-staffed. So they are actually doing a disservice to themselves. In all honesty, I know they're trying to save $1, but you're hurting the patient, and the patient is writing bad reviews, which means that your Press Ganey scores are going down, which means that you don't get that reimbursement like you thought. I feel like the root of the issue is to staff your hospital appropriately so your staff can take care of the patients the way that they need to. So guys, that is all that I got from my pros and cons. And if you guys feel the same, or if you have any pros or cons that you want anybody to know, then baby, go ahead. Drop all that information down below, sis. If something that I touched on really hit you, sis, then let me know down in the comments, honey. But, so I will get out of here, guys, and I will see you guys in my next nursing video. Bye.